This personal experience during the quarantine, and as a creative, I really have started to take advantage of this moment of kind of the time to really dig deep and to discover and uncover creative elements of self that I have not really explored, and so much so that it gave birth to the new music that's coming out. So we have a EP that's released on October the 9th, and so definitely encouraging everybody to mark the calendars for that one. And got a lot of great things, a lot of great music. Been wanting for some time to collaborate with writers, couldn't necessarily work out the time with other writers and producers, and had been having the time to do that, and to just really finding in this time of uncertainty to connect with the part of me that I am certain of, and that is being able to create good music, man.
I think the experience for me, it's been a new discovery because one of the things I've shared and I've reflected upon that I'm accustomed to, especially, being a soul singer and digging deep and just being in the same space as the other musicians and writers and just feeding off of each other. And I think one of the cool things of when you're really into soul music, and I'm from the South, from Georgia, small little town, son of a preacher, where we small congregation, long week revivals, so that intimacy and that really connectedness, that have all those elements have been a part of who I am. And so when you have to be isolated and you don't have that connectedness with those other creators, you have to find new ways of that feeding off of each other, because I'll record something right now and then I'll send it, and it may be 2 or 3 days before. So the energy and the rhythm of the vibe is learning a new rhythm. And I think as a creative, that's something I think that we can tap into, that we can adapt, and we can find ways to do that much faster than we may have explored. And I think that's one of the things that it's been really helpful to me in adapting to this new space and embracing it in such a way that I'm able to produce something that is that really evokes, not only just reflects, but also evokes my personal experience of love and happiness, and from this uncertain time we're in.
My musical and just my creative experience of myself, I think it is more innate. I've been, as long as I can remember, I've been in touch with my creative self, from creating my own drums from the buckets from my neighbor's backyard, my first drumsticks being the pine tree branches, my cymbals being the sweet potato pie crust pans, tin pans from my mother's pantry or cabinets, and my brother's first guitar. And also he taught me how to string the rubber bands from the collard greens and make a 4-string guitar. And so I'm one of 8, 5 boys, 3 girls, and all of us, we just have this kind of calling to the creative space, and it really was a life-changing, transformative experience. But actually continued to be greatly a part of my interest to give back along the way of my doing music in stages and all over the world. I've also have a foundation that gives back to a lot of underprivileged and underserved kids called the Arts Conservatory for Teens. And because I understand from my own personal experience, as well as my surrounding experience with my family and others in our community who became our friends and were creators as well. So it's just been a great experience. And in this time, it definitely brings me back to the roots of inspiration. When being in Manchester, Georgia, limited experience, small little country town, everywhere you go long distance, you got to go in, 30 minutes to an hour to get to see the sun. But it's a great small town. And
appreciated, because it was on those soils that I learned self-discovery. And thankfully, we had supportive parents to nurture, to create the environment that we to continue to cultivate that creativity that I discovered, as well as my siblings. And it has been absolutely amazing for me and for us. So I'm really, really blessed by that. The thing that you really spoke about, how it's the exposure and the experience, in essence, of what you were saying. And I think what was a contributor to me, as well as my siblings, is that our parents, when I talked about cultivating or creating an environment that's conducive for our growth in the creative space, it has all to do with they're willing to take the little resources that they had to expose us, which helped to develop me into who I am today. And as a songwriter, as a producer, we had a chance to be introduced and to work alongside some of the most creative and most accomplished folks throughout my journey to date. And the doors continue to be open because I think of my parents daring to put us in an environment that will be really help us to cultivate that creativity.